Surveying, like any subject matter, has a number of definitions. It is viewed as a means of making relatively large-scale, accurate measurements of the Earth's surfaces. This includes determination of the measurement data, the reduction and interpretation of the data to usable form, and conversely, position and size according to given measurement and requirements. Surveying has been an essential element in the development of the human environment for centuries, and its importance cannot be overemphasized. It is an imperative requirement in the planning and execution of nearly every form of construction. Surveying was essential at the dawn of history, and some of the most significant scientific discoveries could never have been implemented but for the contribution of surveying. Its principal modern uses are in the fields of transportation, building, apportioning of land, among a host of others. History suggests that surveying probably had its origin in ancient Egypt. The near-perfect squareness and north-south orientation of the Great Pyramid of Khufu at Giza, standing at 230 meters long and 147 meters high, lends credence to the notion. Evidence of some form of boundary surveying has been found in the fertile valleys and plains of the Tigris, Euphrates, and Nile rivers. The practice of professional surveying comes under the aegis of Ghana Institution of Surveyors. It is a professional body established on the 28th of February 1969 during the general meeting of the Ghana branch of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, at which a resolution was passed to that effect and the Constitution promulgated. It is the leading source of professional advice on landed property and construction in Ghana. Its vision is to be an internationally recognized professional organization committed to providing effective leadership and excellence in land resource management for sustainable development. The Ghana Institution of Surveyors prides itself in some core values which include creativity and innovation, professionalism, ethics, integrity, accountability, teamwork, as well as social and environmental concerns. Aside from managing the welfare of its members, the institution has other objectives such as management and development of estates and other businesses concerned with the management of landed property, provide cost engineering services, provide precise positioning, charting and data gathering in marine environment and other geoinformatics activities, etc. It has a membership of close to 3,000 with 3 divisions. These are Land Surveying, Quantity, and Valuation and Estate Surveying Division. Chairman of the Valuation and Estate Division and Council Member of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, Surveyor Emmanuel Kofi-Kobold, defined the functions of the division and spelled out some of its achievements. He mentioned alternative dispute resolution in land administration and advocacy for stool land registry. Surveyor Kobold also hinted of plans to halt the cycle of generalization. He added that specialization will now be encouraged to sanitize the profession.
Basically, we are into valuation, appraising landed properties. Every property is fixed to the land. We are trained to provide value by using, our valuation principles. We are also into land administration and everything that is attached to the land. So within land administration, we are also doing estates management, facilities management, and in between there are also soft skills like doing the appraisal, business valuation, doing stuff like alternative dispute resolution, mediation for land-related issues. So it's very broad stroke, but everything related to land, its management and its value. It's basically the expertise of our division.
Honorary Secretary to the Institution of Surveyors, is surveyor Nanache Bafo. He highlighted the definition of a quantity surveyor. He also walks us through the process of becoming a professional surveyor. Nanache Bafo was worried about quacks who have found their way into the system and are tarnishing the reputation of the institution.
When you have a degree and you are entry, and that's the point of entry, you want to find out if that is your core area of practice, and it is indeed what that division to which you are applying for needs. So when that is done, we would ask that you serve with a recognized and registered firm to be practicing there for 2 years, after which you would apply to become a member, and this time you need to undergo an examination, sort of. And when you consider the divisions, if I take the land surveying and the valuation and estate surveying divisions, their courses or their examination is virtually in 2 parts. You do a first year where you are given some reports to submit, after which, if when you are successful, we proceed you. So that will be the first year. So the second year, you are required to also do same, and subsequently you will sit for an examination, after which if you are successful, you will be admitted. With the quantity surveying division, again, you will be allowed to undergo a 2-year probation, and it means that you have to serve with a recognized firm or institution for 2 years, after which you will be asked to, or you'll be allowed to write an examination, or you apply to seek or write an examination. Once you are successful, then it means that you are admitted and inducted and admitted in the institution.
Surveyor John Christian Aqua is the chairman of the land surveying division of the institution. According to him, they have come a long way in enhancing the practice. He added that they have positioned themselves well and have leveraged on the ever-changing dynamics of technology in order not to be left behind. Surveyor Aqua emphasized the need for continuous professional development of its members. He appealed to the public to disabuse their minds of negative perception towards surveyors and not mistreat them at any given opportunity.
Over the years, we have helped the nation right from the time that our first president wanted to build a Kosombo Dam. Surveyors were put there. So we had to show where the 50 feet contour was, so that nobody would develop crossing that 50. And then a whole lot of work we did for the Akosombo. And then the railway line, we were there to survey the line. And all roads in this nation, you find line surveyors who are doing that work. In the beginning, the instruments we were using were not very good. It was not having very good accuracy. Using chain and theodolite to survey, it was quite a lot of work. Then from there, we had to go to electronic instruments, using the total station, and now we are using the GPS to do the survey. So we've come a long way. If you look at the change of instruments up to this day, so we've come a long way. And I would say that going forward, we are expecting new technologies to emerge, and we will not stay behind. We'll go with it, as the Vice President recently talked about digitization. We are moving with it. We don't want to stay behind.
Surveyor James Datson is a former president of the institution and acting executive secretary of the Lands Commission. He indicated that the commission has undergone a number of changes to be abreast of the times. Surveyor Datson notes that the challenges confronting his institution is the state of old records, some of which are a century old. He said automation has made work less cumbersome.
One of the major challenges is the state of our records. The Lands Commission is an entity that has kept and managed records on land transactions, land registration for over a century, over 100 years. and so some of the records are deteriorating. We've launched an exercise to try and scan and revive some of these, and also to digitize the records so that we will operate in an automated environment. That is what we are beginning to do, but it's a major challenge because we operate in a typically manual environment. Retrieval of information becomes a challenge, and then also the demands of the public. Population has increased, people are buying more land, and people are coming in to register their lands. And so given the limited resources that we have, registration or our response rate is not as is expected by the public. But because we work under certain constraints, the situation has arisen. But apart from that, given the environment in which we work, we try as much as possible to meet public expectations. What we want the public to know is that whenever you want to engage in any land transaction, please know where to go. Do the search to determine the status of that parcel before you enter into any land transaction. And once we do that, we think that that will be the way to go. And let me also mention that there's a new Land Act, Act 1036 of 2020, which spells out all the do's and don'ts as far as land is concerned or property is concerned in this country. All the laws have been consolidated to reflect current trends. So what even schools are supposed to do before you sell your land, you have to make sure that your boundaries are all registered before you can sell your land. And these are the responsibilities. And the fact that even to engage in activities of land guard is an illegality. The land guard will be arrested and punished. The person who sponsored the land guard will also be arrested and punished. So these are some of the things that interventions that are being put in place and clothed with this legal document to ensure that sanity prevails in the land sector.
I want to employ all our stakeholders, especially the government, that surveyors have a lot to offer the nation in our development challenge, as every development only occurs on land, and the land experts can only be found in all the 3 divisions of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. You can develop and build your infrastructure right only if you use a surveyor.
Since the institution is the only professional body that brings together surveyors like quantity surveyors in Ghana, quantity surveyors basically are the bank rulers or the financial managers of within the construction or the built environment industry, and for that matter, anything that has to do with the built environment from A to Z falls on the lap of quantity surveyors as far as managing project resources is concerned, as far as determining the investment viability or visibility of construction project is concerned, as far as resolving disputes within the construction industry is concerned, as far as determining the value for money within the built environment industry is also concerned, then after all, it also begins with procurement. If you want to procure any aspect within the built environment or the construction industry, I can say quantity surveyors are the champions in that field because of their knowledge in construction, because of their knowledge in business processes, and some knowledge in law, that is construction law, and also their understanding of the various construction methodology, construction materials and all. So if we are talking about looking for somebody to do value for money within the construction industry, obviously it has to be the quantity surveyor. So I can say with this background, we have served this country in all these fields as far as the construction industry is concerned within Ghana. And because the institution is a professional body, That brings together 3 professional disciplines. We also have affiliates around the world because we are into globalization as far as even professionalism is concerned. Ghana Institution of Surveyors is affiliates to African Association of Quantity Surveyors, for which we as Quantity Surveyors are the main kingpin. We also affiliate to International Federation of Surveyors that brings together all professionals with surveying background within the built environment. We're also looking at International Cost Engineering Council to the extent that one of our past presidents had been the chairman or at the top leadership of International Cost Engineering Council. At that point, I was also the African Regional Director for the ISEC. As we speak, because of our affiliation, I am the Vice Chair for International Cost Engineering Council Technical. The other disciplines within us also have some strong affiliation through the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. If we talk about African Real Estate Society, we also affiliate to African Real Estate Society, AFRES. We also affiliate to CASL, that's Common Association of Land Economy and Land Surveying and Land Economy. We also affiliate to them. We also affiliate to Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors based in Britain. We have a lot of affiliations because at the international level we meet to consider or at conferences to look at what is the contemporary issues that are befalling the construction industry and what measures are the professionals also taking to make sure that the contemporary issues are resolved professionally using technical principles and knowledge to solve problems to serve humanity.
At the 50th anniversary celebration of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors in 2019, GBC News paid courtesy calls on some of its past presidents. After the interactions, they shared fond memories and thoughts on current happenings and the prosperous future they anticipate. The first was Surveyor Felix Osei-Japong, who served as president between 1990 and 1991. He noted that hitherto, education on surveying was limited. But with the advent of the internet and knowledge explosion, things have improved and there is convenience. He, however, lamented the low level of appreciation of surveying in the nation, stressing that much more needs to be done to promote their image and reputation. He further advocated the decentralization of the institution in all regional capitals nationwide.
Previously, education was limited to a few days in Accra. These days, we are moving gradually to the regions, and I believe there's major improvements to the organization. I believe the subsequent successors will be able to improve on whatever was started by the early people. Mr. Sawyer, I'm sure you are aware, was a major player, Professor Akwe and others. So I'm happy with the way the institution has grown in numbers and in strength and in know-how. I hope the future will be greater than now.
Surveyor Jonathan Abose served as president between 2008 and 2009. He expressed confidence of a bright future for the institution. Surveyor Abose, however, expressed worry about the attrition rate of older members who he thinks still have a lot to offer in nurturing and mentoring the younger generation.
As the years go by, the older members, possibly the number keeps dwindling, but we rather taking on more new members and of course younger ones. But I think there should be a blend of the old members as well as the new. So I will encourage my colleagues, especially the older members, to take interest in the activities of the institution and continue to support it. I must say the Ghana Institution of Surveyors is very fortunate in the sense that we have 3 divisions: the Valuation and Estate Surveyors Division, the Quantity Surveying Division, and the Land Surveying Division. Looking at the activities of the three divisions, it's as if it's from the cradle to the grave. That is the way our activities end. Before any development takes place, the land surveyor, who principally also captures data of the earth surface, has to go there and provide the information on the surface. Of course, when it has been given to the relevant professionals to carry out, whether it is infrastructure development or whichever development it is, then of course you also, before you get to that stage, the quantity surveyor has to guide the process of ensuring that we get value for money when it comes to the materials to be used, the cost, the efficiency and effectiveness of the process in getting the infrastructure up. And whilst this is going on, certainly when the infrastructure is completed, you need somebody to manage it and even ensure that even when it comes to renting of the property or even in terms of sales, you have a very good value for whatever process you are involved in. And that is where the evaluation and estate surveying also comes in. So I must say that the institution is blessed to have these three-tier professionals who ensure that we have value for money, and right from the beginning we also ensure that we are coming out with a structure that would be beneficial to the nation. So we cover all the three facets of development.
Another former president who shared some thoughts was Surveyor Dr. Chere. He said the Ghana Institution of Surveyors has come far in service to the nation. He advised young surveyors to serve with integrity, adding that they must prioritize national interest before considering personal ones at all times. Dr. Chere strongly emphasized the need for surveyors to be more involved in national affairs.
For development, I would say that you begin with a surveyor and end with a surveyor. You begin with a surveyor in the sense that the land surveyor has to go and prepare the land, demarcate it and so forth. When construction begins, the quantity surveyor is involved from inception of construction to the end of the project delivery. After the project is delivered, the estate surveyor has to manage it. So it looks as if the whole process begins with a surveyor and ends with a surveyor. So without the surveyors, I think this country wouldn't be as it is.
Another former president who shared some thoughts was Surveyor Kwame Asante, who was at the helm of affairs between 2010 and 2011. He advocated the decentralization of training institutions. He also mentioned an improvement in the institution structures. He bemoaned the underutilization of surveyors.
Most of the time, we do things and people don't hear about it. And because we don't do public relations properly, the marketing becomes very poor. So people even don't know at times who a surveyor is, except they know that there are quack surveyors who have been selling land. It is a negative aspect of it, that so we must be able to look at our services in terms of marketing ourselves to the outside world. And I am also looking at the situation where the institution will play a major role in the development affairs of this country. So that as land surveyors, as quantity surveyors, as valuation and estate surveyors, we should be able to contribute to society and make our development plans work. It is in this case that I wish that the survey practice can be actually regulated. Currently, the institution, Ghana Institution of Survey, holds the chairmanship of the chamber, and it behoves on us to be able to support them. And why we need a chamber is that we need to sanitize the construction industry in Ghana. And the construction industry in Ghana cannot continue to be there. It has to be regulated. And if we have a construction industry development authority in place, we will sanitize and develop our construction industry. That is when we can be able to export even our contractors to other countries. Land surveying simply made it precision. They deal with precision. And Their major role in this country was with the oil industry. Recently, when we had this litigation with Côte d'Ivoire, all the sources of technical information were provided by land surveyors. Because they knew our borders, they knew the extent of issues to be discussed, and they provided the lawyers with necessary feedback for them to be able to defend the cause of this country for our borders to be properly done.
The first female president of the institution is surveyor Dr. Mathilda Fijigbe, who served from 1995 to 1996. She was happy with the appreciation of the current number of female members and called for conscious efforts to empower them, whilst bringing a lot more passionate ones on board.
We have come a long way. We shouldn't rest on our oars, even though we have chalked a lot of successes. We should live our motto. We should live out our motto, which says service with integrity, especially in this time of corruption. When there is a lot of corruption in Ghana, we should be seen to be people of integrity.
Mercy Williams is a student pursuing a course in surveying. She acknowledged that the task ahead is a daunting one, especially being a male-dominated profession. Ms. Williams was, however, hopeful of realizing her ambition with focus and determination. She noted that the profession is one that readily has job offers available after certification.
So I chose this profession because it's a good one. After school, I believe my job is guaranteed, and we've been able to do a lot of roads and other stuffs, and I love the job very much, so I would like to venture it and do a lot.
Public perception is an element that cannot be glossed over in building any profession or organization. This is essential, especially when the functions of an organization, such as the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, is technical and may be fraught with misconception. Some members of the public were engaged to gauge their understanding of what surveying entails. First is Dennis Kwabnanan, a taxi driver.
I know their job, what they do, and how it helps the individual, or it helps everybody in terms of buying land or registering land or knowing the size of the plot.
Henry Mensah is an electrical engineer who shared his understanding of the role and functions of surveying.
It's about a profession that has knowledge about the geographical landscape of lands, and then the boundaries with the river bodies wherever they are. They have the means of determining the size and the angles of the locations of the lands. As a surveyor, they take works with the architects, contractors who do road networks and whatever. They're able to determine where the road should pass, where the level should be taken, and other things that is got to do with lands.
The current president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors is Surveyor Dr. John Amaglo. He said the institution has collaborated with governments over the years in delivering a number of services. Dr. Amaglo noted that though COVID-19 has battered every facet of life, including their profession, the institution has leveraged on technology to advance its course and strategize for the future.
Yes. Our institution is known to be vibrant when it comes to the built environment. So in future, I want a institution where every project that government wants to embark on, our institution should be part, especially on the infrastructure or the construction, the construction area. Government should always find it necessary to involve the institution. Some of the projects do come on without any of our members participating, let alone the institution. So our future prospects, we are looking at closer collaboration with government, so that government will be able to actually
bring on board members of the institution to work on such projects, and it will cut down costs, it will be delivered on time, and it will meet the design expectations.
Presidents of the institution serve a one-year tenure, but Dr. Maglo and his team had their period extended due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, which impeded their work. He highlights some achievements as well as the 5-year development plan of the institution.
Every year we do election where we rotate the presidency, so that if the president currently is a land surveyor, the next year the person who will follow will be a quantity surveyor, and the person who will come after the quantity surveyor will be a valuation and entity surveyor. But fortunately and unfortunately, during the COVID, it becomes necessary that we were not able, that my session was not able to do a lot. So because of the COVID, there is the need for my term to be extended by 1 year because of the COVID. And for our institution, we have a 5-year strategic plan that every president tries to actually pick things from and follow. So I also try to follow the 5-year strategic plan, did the first one, and then moved to the second year. And I was able to actually do something that I can say that they are all in conformity with our 5-year strategic plan.
Leadership of the institution recently paid a courtesy call on the Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Francis Asenso-Boakye, who extolled the role of surveying the development agenda. He commended the institution for its partnership over the years. Mr. Boakye added that government takes cognizance of their functions and commended the institution for the audit work they did on the Saglemi housing project.
I am calling for a very strong collaboration within the development professions, so that we can see how our work will bear fruit, to have impact on human life. I'm saying this because all these, or I should say most of these laws that are formulated, at the end of the day, we do not have the hand in this enforcement. The country's law, especially the Local Government Act, requires that the district assemblies are the highest planning authorities. So when engineers make laws, engineering regulation, building regulation, whatever, the district assemblies are the ones to implement it. Planning laws, all these survey council laws, they are the ones who are going to implement it on the ground. But unfortunately, either they don't have the capacity or they don't have the right ethics. These laws are not being implemented, and therefore you see buildings collapsing, but they either don't issue building permits or they issue it to the wrong people. Development permits. Buildings are being developed on waterways. One of the major reasons why we experience flooding in our country. So there is the need for us to collaborate and find pragmatic ways of helping these district assemblies to be able to implement and enforce strictly all these development laws that we do here in Accra, because otherwise our work will be in vain.
The Ghana Institution of Surveyors prides itself in sponsoring the Real Estate Agency Act for the past 20 years, which has thankfully received presidential assent. The institution reckons that it can better serve the nation if it has representation on some boards, commissions and committees. These include the Minerals Commission, State Housing Company, Ghana Highway Authority, National Identification Authority, Street Naming and House Addressing Committees, among others. The institution anxiously awaits the promulgation of the Surveying Council Bill, which has suffered a checkered history.